Okay, so now we're going to start adding some functionality into this whole project. Get some things happening, drop some bombs, make things go boom. Okay, now I just do want to add the disclaimer. Look, my channel is called Unity Guides Written by a Noob, so I'm sure there's plenty of other ways of doing things. I'm just trying to put it out there, show some people that are starting out how to do things, what's available, and hopefully you take it from there. Learn some things from my mistakes, and see better ways of doing things for yourself, and continue in your journey in programming. That would be lots of fun. Okay, so yeah, I open up my notepad because I want to try and describe the process of hierarchy, how things are going to be managed and talking to each other in my form of an idea of this game. Okay, so we've got a level manager. Okay, and currently what do we do in the level manager? Okay, we're setting the two-dimensional array, which we're going to be reading and cross-referencing. Now this is going to be for the bomb more specifically, because the bomb wants to see what's around it. So what areas are we going to instantiate an explosion, and what things are we going to destroy, and what things are going to stop that explosion from continuing on. So we've got the level array and the size. Okay, and we store a reference to the player here. Now, okay, so we've got the level manager and we've got the player. Now, the player is going to be the one dropping bombs. Okay, so they're going to be instantiated from the player. Okay, but like I said, the bomb needs to have a reference to the level manager, because that's where all the information is stored in the 2D array. So at some stage the bomb will need a reference to the level manager. Okay, there's quite a few ways that this can be done. Now, what I would say is the best way is if the level manager was a static instance, but I'm not even going to attempt to try and cover static instances and referencing a static object. Like it's a singleton. It's called a singleton. But if you want to research about singletons, or I might cover singleton later. But for now, I'm just going to continue in all my other videos how we're using a game object find and a get component method. So basically on the level manager, it does find the player because it sets the position. So if the level manager is managing the player, we may as well build off from here. What we can do is we can give the player a reference to the level manager script, and then when the player instantiates a bomb, the player can give the bomb a reference to the level manager. So let's put that in and set that up first. So in the level manager here, checking if we have a player. If not, we try and find it, and then we set the position. Now if you haven't got a game object named player, at this point it will break. So you should be aware of that. Okay, so from here we're going to give the player script a reference to the level manager. And it's quite simple really. Just create a new variable. We don't have to maintain this and keep it a constant. We can just use throwaway local variable. So let's just say variable player script. Now this is where it could get confusing because I'm starting a variable, but we do have a class called player script. That's in fact what we're accessing. So even to keep things simple, I mean, I've changed the name here slightly so that people aren't confused. I mean, normally it's not something I would do. I would actually call it player script. But you can see how that would confuse people quite quickly. See, this is a lowercase. This is just a variable name where we're storing a reference that is typecast player script. And player script is our class. It's the component. Okay, so yeah, alright, let's just keep it simple so that people can see there is a difference between those. So player script typecast to the class, player script equals. We already have a reference to the player transform here. So equals player dot get component player script. Okay, because the player script is a component, it's a class, and it's attached to the player game object. So now we've got a reference to it. We want to give it some values, so we better set that up on the player script first. So what are we wanting to give to the player script? A reference to the level manager. So let's create a variable to store that reference. Variable level man of type level manager. Okay, because we want to store a reference to the script so that then we can start reading the variables of that script. Most importantly, this level array. So we have a reference to the script, we can read public global variables of the level manager script. Okay, so player script, we set up level manager. Let's just save that out for now. So on the level manager, now we have a reference to the player script. Let's give the player script the level manager script. So player script dot level manager equals. Now we're already on this game object that's holding this script because this is the script that we're talking about. So we can just go get component level manager. Okay. Check I haven't made any errors. Yes, I have. Because I used a capital. Okay, there we go. Player script dot level man. Silly mistake. Okay, so we have the player script here. We see we have the new variable level manager. If I hit play, that becomes populated. If I click on that, it shows in our hierarchy. Yes, I do have a reference to the level manager script. Okay, so that's great. So currently the player can read all the public global variables on the level manager script, for in future giving it to the bomb. So the bomb can check the 2D array and then do its thing. So I guess we should create just a stand-in bomb object first of all. I like creating objects in an empty scene so that I confuse things. Game object, create other. We'll go with another boring sphere at the moment, and let's just call it bomb. Zero it out. Now, the bomb's going to be placed where the player is standing, and I don't want it mucking around with the rigid body in that. Now, I know some versions of the game you can't walk through the bomb once you place it as like a barrier. I'm not going to deal with that issue now. I'm just going to make things easy on myself. I'm going to make that a trigger collider, so the player can place it down, not get pushed off my game board, and still walk around. Let's create a material for that. Okay, make it completely black. Won't look fantastic. Okay, it's kind of a bomb. There's no light there, so now we can see just got a bit of a grey to it. Could get a little bit fancy. Game object, cube, give it a little bit of a fuse. Let's just say 0.15. Scale it. Let's see what we have. Okay, so what if I rotated that 45 on the Z? Let's just say 30. 60. I meant 30 from the horizontal. Okay, and so that's global, local axis. Red one should be the X. So let's just make the X 3. Okay, nothing fantastic, but hey, better than a basic primitive. Why not? There we go. there's my little bomb. Now I'm going to totally remove the collider on that because, like I said, I don't want issues with colliders. This is just a graphic. Let's just call it fuse. Make it a child of the bomb, so anywhere the bomb goes, so does the fuse. Okay, let's make that a prefab. And done. Let's go back to the scene. I've got a bomb to instantiate. Should create a bomb script. And just like I said, the bomb script is what's going to be the item that wants to read the level manager. Oh yeah, I think it's the 25th even. Yeah. Good morning. So, just similarly as the player script has this variable, we can use the same variable on the bomb script. Okay, and for the bomb to cross-reference where it is in the 2D level array, we should store a reference to the bomb's position too. So I could call it bomb array pos. A bit more clear. So the bomb array position is going to be a vector 2, just to save some translations. So the array is a vector 2. And alright, let's just leave the bomb script set up like that. So we've got two variables that we're going to now populate from the player script. So we need to instantiate that first. But before I forget, let's look at the bomb. And yeah, cool bomb. And let's make sure the bomb script is already attached. There we go, fantastic.